we should refer, and very, very important, are there any free resources available, right? So this is a concern that most of us have. So some of the tips and tricks, I will be sharing them today. So I hope this will be very useful for all of you. So let's look at today's agenda. So today we will be looking at introduction to software testing, learning key skills, tools, and technologies to become industry ready. Then we will look at some key resources or tutorials, courses, etc. for your learning. And we will look at how we can enhance our resume with projects, internships, etc. Okay, so let's get started. Now, what is software testing? Now, as per the definition by ISTQB, software testing is a way to assess the quality of the software and to reduce the risk of software failure in operation. Now, in other words, software testing is a process of evaluating a software application for identifying and fixing defects or bugs, okay, so that your application meets all the quality standards before it reaches end users, okay. So this is a process where we ensure that our application is meeting all the quality standards, okay. Now let's take an example. Let's say you bought a brand new car, okay, and you want to drive it on the road, right? Now, would you trust your car if you without testing it, testing its functions or testing its brakes? Would you trust your car without testing it? No, right? It's risky. We will do a dry run before buying itself. We will do the dry run whether that model is perfect or not, right? So similarly, in software development, we rely on software testers to identify defects or to ensure that our application meets all the quality standards and it is performing flawless. Okay, so that's what software testers do, or that's what software testing is. Okay, so what is the importance of software testing? There are a few of the points which I have mentioned here. First is ensuring software quality. Now, in software testing, we have to ensure that our software meets all the quality standards as per the end user's expectations. Okay. Now, if software testing is followed in the process, so there are cost savings. Now, cost savings in what respect? So now, if any bugs or defects or issues are identified by the end user or post-release, so resolving those issues after the release of our application is very expensive, okay, than resolving them in the development phase itself, okay. So this is how software testing or early testing helps in cost savings, okay. Then next is enhancing user satisfaction. Now, if you are testing your application thoroughly, then obviously there will be user satisfaction. If you have a target audience for your application, right? And your target audience or your users will love your application if it is bug free, if it is meeting all the expectations, if it is working flawlessly, okay. So enhancing user satisfaction. Then compliance and security. Now, if there are any data breach, right, if there is any security concerns, so in software testing, we can ensure that our application meets all the security requirements, okay. Then faster time to market. Now, if there are no, if we identify all the issues within the deadline, so we can have a faster time to market, okay. We have a couple of things involved before releasing a product, okay. So if early testing is done, or we can have faster time to market. If bugs or issues are identified in the last moment, then obviously releases will be delayed, okay. So next is competitive advantage. Now, if your application is performing better than other competitive applications. So you have that competitive advantage, right? That, oh, this particular application is working much, much better than the other one. So people will come to use your application. So these are some of the importance which software testing helps us to achieve. Okay. Now, let's move to what are the consequences of neglecting testing. Okay, so obviously, first is increased defects and bugs. If we are neglecting testing, then we are just developing the features, we are just developing and not looking at or not considering testing. So obviously there will be defects and which will lead to bad quality. Okay. Then, so it, all the things are correlated to each other. So it will ultimately result in reduced software quality. If there are defects, then software quality will be reduced. Then there are escalating costs. Now, if your product is live, then as I mentioned that it will cost you more. Resolving defects after your product is live is more expensive than resolving them in the development phase itself. Okay. Then we have negative user experiences. So if there are defects, if the quality is poor, then ultimately it causes dissatisfaction in the user. Okay, so they will tend to move to other applications which are working fine or better than your application. So negative user experiences, then damage reputation, then security vulnerabilities, missed deadlines. So all these are consequences of neglecting testing. Okay, now next is, so if we have to cover all these issues, all these points, so we have a software tester, right? So what are the roles of a software tester, or what are the responsibilities of a software tester? First and foremost, test planning and strategy. So a tester has to define the objective, the scope, or the criteria of success for the testing. Okay, you have a product, you have an application, so you have to strategize your testing process. Okay, so that is what is done in the test planning and strategy step. Okay, then we have test case design. So a software tester writes a set of test cases. Okay, in that they mention the scenarios, test cases, they mention the prerequisites required for testing a particular application. Then they mention the steps involved if we have to test a sign-in page. So what are the steps we have to click on? We have to put our login credentials in the text box. We have to click on sign in. So like this, we will mention all the steps, and then we will also mention the expected output. If we are performing these steps, what should be the expected output? So all these things are covered in test case design. Then comes test case execution. So whatever test cases you have written in your test case design, you will execute them. Okay, so this is what is done in the test case execution part. Now, if any of your test case fails, okay, you find that your this particular test case is not as per the expected output, what you will do? You will report bug. Okay, and after reporting bug, you will track the progress of that bug. So when you report a bug, then there is another cycle which is followed, that it is assigned to a developer works on that bug, then that bug is resolved, it comes back to the tester, and if it's working fine, that bug will be closed. If it's not working fine, it will go back to the developer. Okay, so you have to track the progress of your bug. Then verification and validation. Software tester verifies whether the feature or the product meets the requirements, and then validates whether that particular product meets all the user expectations. Okay, so this is also software tester's responsibility. Then there are various types of testing involved. I have named a few of them, but there are a lot. Okay, so it's regression testing, performance testing, security testing. So these are some of the few of the types of testing that a tester does. Then we have to think about continuous improvement. Okay, along with all the stakeholders, we think about how we can improve our product a level up. Okay, we have to think about leveling up our product. Okay, so this all involves in the continuous improvement phase. Then communication and collaboration, this is a key role that a software tester plays. Okay, a software tester has to be very very well in communication. He or she should have great communication skills. Why? That we will look into in the further slides. But the role of a tester involves like he should be better in communication and collaboration. Okay, so let's move to next slide. Now, what are the essential skills for software tester? First, attention to detail. Now, what does attention to detail mean? We have to have a keen eye for minute things, minute features in our product. Okay, we can't neglect. Let's say that we have an application. Okay, there is a button. Okay, now our requirement was that okay, we should have a button. But now if it's a sign-in page and if the text boxes are aligned at the center, then it's no meaning if our sign-in button is on the left or right side. Okay, so you have to think, you have to keep eye on such minute things. Okay, not just we have to think from the feature or from the acceptance criteria point of view, but we have to think from an end user point of view. Okay, so we have to think about these minute things. So we should have attention to detail. Then critical thinking. We have to, as I mentioned, we have to think as end user. Okay, we have to think of the scenarios. Let's say I am a user. I don't know what your product is all about. So let's, so I will just think about, or I will tend to do some mistakes. Okay, I will explore that product. So that's what you have to do. You have to think and you have to explore your product, and then you have to maybe you will find out some amazing scenarios in there. Okay, and then you should have problem solving ability, so it will help you in better or efficient bug resolution. So these are some skills. Then communication, collaboration, and teamwork skills. Now as a tester, you have to communicate the defect or the issues that are there in your product. Okay, so and this communication is done in written as well as in by verbal communication. So you have to be very well versed with all the parameters, and then you should be very efficient in communicating them, because communicating the issues in a very easy manner is a skill. Okay, it's not that everyone can do that. Okay, so you have to be good communicator. Then collaboration. A tester has to collaborate with many stakeholders. They are like product owners, then solution leads, business analysts, then developers. Then we have other stakeholders involved, means we have leadership level people elsewhere, right? So a tester has to collaborate with everyone. Okay, and then teamwork skills, we have to work together. So communication, collaboration, and teamwork skills. Then technical proficiency. Along with these things, testers should be well versed with technical things as well, about software development, about programming languages. These are some of the key skills that a tester must have. Okay, then test planning and strategy. As I mentioned, tester has to have that ability to design or to define the objective of the testing, the scope of then exit criteria, everything they have to do. So test planning and strategy. Then test case design and execution. Then manual testing and automation skills. Manual testing is like you will manually perform all the steps, and automation skills are you are automating repetitive tasks. So it helps you reduce your manual efforts, and you can have some productive time to focus on other scenarios. Okay, so in this way, a tester should focus on manual as well as automation skills. Then time management skills. As a tester, we have lots of responsibilities and we have to work in tight deadlines. Okay, because there are multiple releases going on. So we should have great time management skills. We should be able to prioritize our tasks. Okay, so that's where our time management skills are looked upon. Then documentation skills. As a tester, we have to document a lot. We have to document defects. We have to do a documentation for our test case design, then test case execution. Then there is one more thing, that is test summary report. So there are lots and lots of documentation involved as a tester. So we should have amazing documentation skills. And then continuous learning is a skill that everyone must have. We should keep on learning the new technologies that are coming, and then new skills. We should always keep upgrading ourselves. Okay. So these are some of the key skills that all the testers should have. Now, next is some of the tools and technologies that you can learn. Now, manual testing is something that we do manually. Okay, let's think a level up. Okay, test automation tools. Now, there are some of the steps that, let's say, sign in button scenario itself. Okay, a tester has to, like, we know that we have to click on that sign in button and then it will move forward. So we can automate this particular step. Okay, we will ask a tool to perform these steps for us so that we can focus on some other critical scenarios. So there are many automation tools available in the market, and to start with, because we have lots and lots of resources or learning materials available, so I have listed some of the tools for which you will easily find some material. Okay, so to start with, as someone who is new to testing, you can start with, for test automation tools, you can start with Selenium, APM, and there are many other tools, but let's start with Selenium and APM. So Selenium is used for automating test cases for web-based application, and APM is widely used for mobile applications, for like Android, iOS, like that. Okay, then you can learn about API testing tools. Like one of the most popular API testing tool is Postman. So you can learn about that. Then so these are the areas in which you can expertise. Okay, it's not like you should know everything. It's good to have everything, but these are some of the tools or areas where you can upskill yourself. Okay, so it's so you can select as per your interest. You can select. So API testing, then performance testing. How is the performance of your application, so that we can test using load runner or JMeter. Then you can learn about test management and defect tracking tools. And one of the most popular defect tracking tool is Jira. Then you can learn about version control tools like Git and GitHub. It is usually with the releases. So then next is cloud platforms, AWS and Azure. This everyone knows. Then data management and database tools. This helps in with respect to database testing, right? So Oracle, SQL, these are some of the tools which you can focus on, which you can learn. Okay. Now let's move to key resources, tutorials, courses. Now let's first start with free resource, YouTube. YouTube पे तो हर कोई होता है, right? So now my personal favorite, I have listed here YouTube channels, okay, which I am comfortable with. Okay, so you can check out these: SZQA Automation Techie, Naveen Automation Labs, Mukesh Otwani. So they are some amazing teachers, I would say, who are doing wonders for testing community. They are posting very amazing content for us, which helps us to understand about tools or technologies, or be it anything. Okay, and you can explore as per your interest also. These are, I am comfortable with the explanation process of these content creators, you may be with some other. So you can explore, and there is enough content. There are enough content creators available on YouTube. So I would say just go and explore. I have listed some of them. Then Udemy courses. Now, it will be very unfair if I list some of them. You can just go and search for some nice software testing courses, and then you can filter it by popular software testing courses, and you will find many instructors there. So based on your learning pace and which instructor you are comfortable with, you can go and refer that particular Udemy courses. Okay. Then ISTQB certifications. These are certifications which are preferred whenever any software tester is hired. Not compulsory, but it's preferable to have ISTQB certification. Okay. Then LinkedIn is like one of the ocean of resources. Okay. Ocean of knowledge. So on LinkedIn, there are professionals who are sharing their testing journey. Okay. Now, recently, LinkedIn started identifying or giving a badge to some content creators who are top voices. Okay. So you can just go and search on LinkedIn, top voice in software testing, or top voice in quality assurance, and it will list all the top voices in that particular area. Okay, some of them I will name, like Siddharth Shukla, Rahul Parwal, then Priscilla, and then Mukta Sharma. So you can follow these peoples, and obviously these are not it. There are many more, and once you follow these professionals, you will get to know about more people who are there, who are sharing some amazing stuff about software testing. So just leverage LinkedIn. Okay. Then you can join testing communities. Testing communities are best place to know about the current testing market. Okay. So what are the testing trends going on, and how people are upskilling themselves? So all the updates, like we have news channels, right, for some news about all over the world. In testing communities, you will get all the news about software testing. So one of the largest testing community is the Test Tribe. Then there are many others, Ministry of Testing, and you can Google testing communities, and it will list many of them. Okay, so these are some of the key resources that you can refer for your upskilling. Okay, then next is how you can enhance your resume. Now, tailor your resume for the job. Okay, don't use same resume for all the job profiles. You have to uh, update your resume based on what are the roles and responsibilities, what are the expectations mentioned in that job description. So you have to update your resume according to that. Then use action verbs. Don't just go and write that, okay, I built this software, that's this particular application, or I was working on this particular project. No, showcase it in a professional way. So it will give, or it will add, it will show an impact. Okay, yeah, this particular person is adding a value, or this particular person has an impact on something. Okay, so use action verbs like developed, or proposed, or something like that. You can search these action verbs, and then you can add them. Okay, and you can showcase your key skills. So I had in my previous slides, I had mentioned some key skills that a tester must have, right? So you can add these skills, and you can showcase how you are uh, good in these skills. Then include internships or entry-level roles. Now, how to find internships or entry-level roles? So first, for freshers, Internshala is the one of the best resource. Then next, I would say again, LinkedIn. There are people who are posting internship opportunities or entry level roles, and you can just reach out to them and you can share your resume, and you might land up a great opportunity. Okay, so I would say be active on LinkedIn. Okay, and you will not find it immediately. You won't find opportunities immediately. You have to explore, you have to give time to it, and you have to upskill yourself. So you have to search around, you have to roam around for searching opportunities. It won't come in your bucket uh, like like that. Okay, then emphasize on automation and technical proficiency. So now technology is improving, right? There now AI, machine learning, all these things are there. So even we have to upgrade ourselves. So we should have technical proficiency, and we should have knowledge about automation. We should know how to automate repetitive test cases, okay, which will help us be more productive in our day-to-day activities. Okay, so I have mentioned some of the tools that you can start with. Okay, try to emphasize on them, try to learn them. Okay, you will find enough resources for them. Then include relevant projects section. Now, how to add relevant projects? Now, you are a fresher, right? How to add projects in your resume? So one way is by doing some internships, right? And other way is, let's say you didn't find any internship, then what? You won't add any project? No, you do have a chance to add projects there. How? So just pick any random application, okay, and prepare your plan. Prepare your documents, your test plan strategy, how you will. Let's say Amazon, best example. Let's say Amazon. So let's prepare a test plan strategy. Okay, then let's write test cases for that. Okay, let's take one page, sign in page. Then you can go to card page. Okay, you can pick different modules and you can write test cases for them, and then you can execute them. You can show your documentation skills with that, right? And this is how you can add your project, that you are showcasing that I know how to test, I know how to document things. Okay, so uh, you don't have to wait for any opportunity to come for you. You can create your own opportunity. Okay, and once you are done with this, start writing blogs or start uploading your findings on LinkedIn, or start uploading your projects or your documents on GitHub. Maintain a GitHub profile. Okay, so all these things will help you to upskill yourself, to enhance your resume. Okay, and last but not the least, have a LinkedIn profile, a well maintained LinkedIn profile. Post something, or at least have it updated with your skills. Okay, because when you have visibility on LinkedIn, people look at you. Okay, we have this particular person there who is posting some amazing stuff out there. So they check out on your profile and they find, okay, this particular person seems to be a fit for us. So in this way, we create our opportunities. Okay, so these were some of the points which you can use to enhance your resume. So that's it from my side. So
Hello.
yeah, hi
Yeah.
Niharika.
Yeah. So we have a few questions that have come in. Let me just pick them up one by one. So Mayur asks, is software testing important to a web developer? And what is the importance of software testing for a web developer?
Okay, so my question would be, okay, I won't ask any question. So let's say you are a web developer, and let me consider two scenarios here again. So I will divide your question into two scenarios. First is you want to move into software testing. So let me answer in this way. Now you are a web developer, you are developing web applications. So think in this way, you developed a web application. Now think of that when I use it. Okay, how should what would be your expectations, okay, from as a user when you are using it. So as a developer also, you have to think that, okay, though I am developing it, I should not only think about developing, but I should also think about the user experience, okay, because ultimately you are not developing your application for yourself, okay, you are developing it so that end user can use it, right? So as a web developer, if you are moving into software testing, I would say that's a plus point, because you know those some chupe hue ras that a web developer has while developing something, okay, so that you can inculcate in your software testing, okay. So I would say if you are a developer and moving into software testing, so you have many advantages, because you know what mistakes a developer does. So you can try to rectify them as a tester. Okay, you can try to identify them. And key point is always think like a end user. Okay, so one scenario is you are moving from, I think I covered both the scenarios in my explanation, but let me move to the second scenario, that you are a web developer. You will continue to be a web developer. So again, you are not developing that application for yourself, but you are developing it for the end user, for someone to use. So think in that way that, okay, they should have a good experience. They should have a flawless experience. Your application should not crash. We get irritated, right? If we get that 404 error, or if your application is very slow, okay, we get irritated when we are trying to search one product on Amazon, and let's say it's taking time. Consider it's not your network issue, but actually it's taking time to list the products, right? So here, what is the problem? Maybe performance testing, or there might be some other reasons. So think in the end user's way.
We don't have any other questions related to the topic. If there are the attendees who are there, this is your chance. If you have any questions related to software testing, you can still post in. There is one more question that says that can we get this PPT after the session? So basically, we are streaming this session on YouTube as well. I'm just going to paste the link here in the chat box. The entire webinar will be recorded on this link, so you can access it anytime. Also, you can, if you open the link, you'll also land up on Shiksha Online's YouTube channel. You can just subscribe and you will get to know of, whenever in future we have more uploads and more webinars. I'm also launching a short poll for your feedback. So people who are still attending, you can just let us know if the session was helpful and would you, sort of recommend it to friends. And your feedback sort of, helps us to understand if, the webinar was useful enough and, if we can have more such topics later on. So thank you so much to all the attendees who attended today. I can also see some responses, and I'm glad to see that all of you sort of liked the session. And also, Meenal, thank you so much for coming on board, sharing your thoughts. It was pretty detailed. The session was pretty nice, pretty detailed. And I'm pretty sure that people who have attended benefited out of it.
Thank you so much, Niharika and Shiksha Online, for having me here. And thank you so much for all the attendees. And I hope that the points that I shared will be very helpful for you, because these are the things that I learned from my experience. Okay, during my fresher days, I didn't have anybody or any resource actually to refer to. Okay, so these are the things which I explored, which I learned, and this was a very slow process, but yet I am here sharing my experience with you all. So I hope it will benefit you.